let's bring you up to speed on the story so far. I bought a big car. Then I bought a little car. Then I ripped the top off the small car and absolutely destroyed it. Then I murdered the big car and annoyed a bunch of people on a forum. My condolences. I then decided it would be a good idea to put large bits of the big car into the small car. But this wasn't enough. I contracted some OCD and decided to make absolutely everything look brand new again. This took a long time. I'm unsatisfied. Then I got a little bit distracted and I decided to ride a motorbike from Sydney to Kenya. And after this, I painted the whole car and made it look a little bit more pretty than it did. I think it's time I took this car on a test drive. I have a little bit more work to do. Now you're up to date with the things that have been going on. So now I have a painted Patrol, as well as many other bits of painted Patrol. So I think it's probably time to turn these many bits into one singular bit. Now my plan is to basically build up the whole car as one bit and then plop it down on top of the body. Because on the V10 engine, there are about 4 plugs that'll plug in and then the engine will hopefully start. So while I have an immense amount of engine space, I'd probably better take advantage of this and get everything I can already fitted so that when the engine goes in, I don't need to take it out again. That's the hope, anyway. So where to begin? These bits. Someone should invent a machine that does that. It rattles because there's no door seal. It's just dusty. Don't worry, it's the same color. Those bolts would have gone in a lot easier if someone in a Prado hadn't reversed into this car a long time ago. I think this is the bit that I was the most scared of, simply because if any paint's going to look bad, it's going to look bad when you get it out in the sunlight. And this is the first time I've done that. There was one bit that I'm not sure if you can see there, where I sweated on it while I was painting. That was annoying. Anyway, I'll put a sticker over that. And apart from that, there was one bit where the clear coat dripped, somewhere around there. Can't see it through the viewfinder. But that's just the clear coat, and that'll be sortable by someone who knows what they're doing. Apart from that, it needs a good polish. Well, that's not exactly ideal. What the hell can I do about that? What do you have to say about that, Barney?
Government cover-ups were not in my job description!
And now for something completely different. I've made a Frankenstein's monster cooling system. Now most of the stuff here is from the Touareg, so these fans have been trimmed down so they'll fit within the confines of a petrol radiator. However, when you compare it to the original Touareg radiator, it's a little bit smaller. Now while it might have much more surface area, it's a pretty skinny little guy, so I got a much fatter one for the Patrol. This means that volumetrically the Touareg radiator has less volume than the Patrol radiator. But sadly, Neanderthal mindsets don't always play their part in this case, and more volume does not necessarily mean more cooling. And since I'm not really prepared to go through the efforts of thermodynamically analysing the whole cooling system, I'm just going to hope for the best. Now another thing to consider is that I'm not going to be using the Touareg intercoolers. I'm going to have some front-mounted ones that go here. And what this means is that the air flowing through the radiator is going to be a bit slowed down. And my way of thinking is, if air's moving slower, it's passing through the fins of the radiator slower, and therefore the air will have more time to transfer the heat away as it goes. Hence why a fatter radiator would probably be better for a slower moving airflow. Convenient, and definitely planned. So as you can see, it's not the most perfect thing in the world, but I've managed to retain these weird little flappy things that Volkswagen had, as well as all the motors and controllers and plugs, which means that this should be plug and play, and not an issue for CAN bus. Anyway, I'll probably put something around here, and then put it in. Now thankfully, I kept my notes from uni, and this M here depends on the surface area of the radiator. But then obviously other things can play a part, like the air becoming saturated before it reaches the exit of the radiator. And this is why this is something I'm going to trial and error, and not bother doing all the tests. Now the only thing to yet be done about this cooling system is dealing with the fact that Volkswagen uses these really annoying quick release fittings on their cooling system. For all those times when you need to quickly change your radiator while driving your football mum's car. Anyway, I'll have to machine a little adapter to convert this inch and a bit fitting into that weird quick release thing, so I'll probably have to machine something to go into the quick release pipe. But that's a job for me in the future. So as you can see, this vehicle is starting to look slightly more car-like. It's not exactly bolted together completely, but it's a start. And the important bits are there. And you know what that means. This means I can finally start crossbreeding electronics from this one. As you can see, it's atrociously empty in there. But almost everything apart from the wiring has been removed. So this means by the end of the next episode, this will be on top of this, using bits from this. And at that point, I'll be getting pretty close to turning the key and seeing if it still runs. So you should press this button.